Well, we're live, so be pretty and quiet. I'm kidding. G'day, it's Duke Stefan here, and I'm with Master Ianto. So this is just a quick video to have a bit of a breakdown of, just to break down. It's been a big day. We're breaking down. I had a great fight session today. There were 7 of us in armor, and one of our visitors was Master Kitan, who's up from one of the lower baronies in Lockhart, and he took Master Ianto through a training strategy which I didn't get to hear about, and I was fascinated to hear more about it. So we just thought we'd jump on, have a bit of a chat about it, and I've got the video that you've put onto YouTube here. So this is on Master Ianto's YouTube channel. Is it just Ian Vowles? Is that the name of your channel?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. So I'll pop a link to that in the description of the video once we're all finished here as well. So if people want to go and see more of the 100+ fighting videos you've got of our training sessions on there, they can. So talk us through what this is. Is it a drill? Is it a strategy? What was it? What was the purpose of it? What led to the discussion? Kind of what led you to this thing, and then tell us about the thing itself. So what are we looking at? Do you want to play it while we do, or do you want to describe it first?
Let's describe first. I mean, look at that handsome Sir Kitan. Obviously, what are you going to do about that? He just looks fantastic, and he is very good. And that probably leads into the fact that, I have been training pretty full on for some years now, having reauthorized for SEO Heavy Combat in 2017, I should say.
2017, yeah.
And that has been a tremendously enjoyable experience. And I have the advantage of people such as yourself, Sir Kitan, Sir Leofric, Sir Elaine, all of the people who are there today, who are all very actively trying to help me to improve my skills in this combat form. And what that has led to is that there have been lots of good suggestions over those into years where people have sort of said, work on this now, think about this now, and go from there. So I do have a very firm picture in my mind that says anybody who tells you anything about the fighting, listen to it. You may find that potentially it doesn't work for you, potentially it isn't something that you're physically capable of. I'm not a young man anymore. Some of the things these young blokes do, I've gone, I just can't do that. But it does lead into ones where particularly, once again, with my advantageous position, a lot of people giving me advice, I look for commonalities. So you might say, Leofric might say, Kitan might say, all the same thing. And as soon as I get 2 or 3 people who have gone a long way in their fighting capabilities in the SCA, you pay attention because they're all seeing the same thing. So we had this session today, and we had a previous session a few days ago where in the previous session there was discussion during those sessions about things that people had seen. Mistress Alicia made some comments, absolutely right. Kitan made comments, absolutely right, as did Leofric. So those I was thinking about today as we were participating, and then toward the end, Kitan came up with this method that he has used on one other occasion with one of the guys he works with in Politicopolis in Canberra. And so he suggested it to me, and we just got straight in and did it straight afterwards. So what he was saying was that and this is why it's more of a strategy than anything else, it helps if the person you're participating with knows, because they are encouraged to engage first. They don't have to, but they are encouraged to. And he was doing that, and we should see that in the video, where he has a tendency to initiate some kind of process to try to get me. The defender, their defense must include a shot. So I can be thinking he's shooting for my leg now. I can move my shield to defend my leg, but my sword must attack. I can throw a shot that will intersect the line that the attack is coming on in an effort to defend it as part of an attack. And so this gives you the opportunity to do it effectively with anybody without them knowing in some kind of training session, because training sessions often end up being sparring more than anything else. And this is another thing, as a person trying to learn inside SCA heavy combat, you have to accept that if you're trying to learn how to do a certain thing and you're participating with people who want to spar, they will kill you a lot. And you must not let yourself feel discouraged by the fact that they are effectively defeating you 90% of the time, because you're trying to work a particular something.
Yeah,
Right?
and that's about knowing what your outcome is. What does winning look like to you tonight? It might not be winning the fight. It might be changing the habit. It might be remembering to throw that shot. It might be remembering to use my feet. That could be your success measure for that particular training session. So I think that's a really great point. Cool.
And
All
I
right.
do have to say that can be really hard,
Oh
because
yeah.
you walk away going, man, I couldn't get a trick here tonight. But if you did sort of manage to do the thing you'd gone out for, you have to emphasize that, because and all of these things that I do are based upon advice that people gave with the intent of improving my ability.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things, one of the many things I like about you is that you will hear that advice and you'll weigh it up based on how you work, but you will always try and apply that advice in some way. You'll apply it. I've seen you try and apply it directly as it's been presented to see how that fits your body and then adapt it so that it works for you, which I think is excellent. And that's something we can all take away from. So, cool. All right. So let's play the video and you can step us through what is actually happening here.
So in the opening, we're just once again reassuring ourselves that we know how it works and the kinds of things that's acceptable. So I did directly ask, is it okay for me to effectively attack your weapon?
As the shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in effect, the answer to that in brief is kind of no.
Yeah.
But if you feel you can get a shot that absolutely defends the line they're coming in on, but you can hit them,
Yeah.
that's the ideal.
So the ultimate purpose is to throw an attacking shot, no
Yes.
matter how you defend. Defend
Yes.
with your feet, throw an attacking shot. Defend with your shield, throw an attacking shot. Defend with
Yes.
your sword, you're still doing that in the midst of throwing an attacking shot.
Yeah.
So,
And
okay.
and so you can see he sort of initiates something quite low, and I immediately tried to sort of get the standard snapshot, which he defended with the front corner of his shield effectively,
Yep.
and then we sort of moved into where he shot low.
Nice. So it really is just building in that habit, that concept of always be throwing a shot in the midst of your defense as well,
And
which
we
which a lot
do
of us don't do.
you can
That's
see
great.
that we move into a format that really does look like sparring
Yeah.
quite quickly. It just
Yeah.
looks like sparring, and you can also clearly see times where I just defend. My response is to defend, and that's my take home. That particular little section that we just had, that's the one where you're sort of going, and that's the one time where I'm sort of going, well, he's done a certain something, and I'm attacking, and I'm going to hit him upside the head, and I actually got him cleanly
It was a
with his
beautiful
shield
headshot.
down
Yeah.
against the side of the head,
Yeah.
and that was just where somehow he thought I was going to shoot low, and I didn't. Yeah.
I think it was before that, wasn't it? Let's go back.
There.
Yeah. Nice.
So I had initiated the shot as I was defending low.
So he goes, oh, that's arm straight into the head. Beautiful. So you lost your arm, but you took his head.
Yeah.
And there was
And
another
so
one where he's pictured more on here. Yeah, I think this is another one here, isn't it? I know. There was another one where you were more in that position, which we saw before. I've lost it in the stream here.
yeah. But I did find it was quite an interesting exercise to do. And as I say, the advantage is your opponent can just think that you're sparring,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
So this is definitely something that you don't necessarily need somebody else to know what you're doing. You can still do
Yeah.
this for your own benefit.
And there was no indication that, you know, in a quiet moment, if you're up against someone who doesn't know you're trying to do it, you can still initiate an attack. There's nothing to stop you initiating an
Yeah.
attack. But to defend, you must be throwing an attack.
Must throw something in.
Yeah.
Love it.
I was trying very hard to tell myself on this day, because I'd noticed it on the previous day that we had got together, that with that little shield I tend to bring my elbow out, and that can really expose my body. So I was trying to get it a little tighter in. I'm just seeing myself still let that bottom corner drift out. And with that little shield, with the kind of quality that I face, that's a recipe for death. Or
It,
as Mistress Alicia showed me, it's a recipe to have my left leg repeatedly hit, because she just fires those 2 and 3 shots in a row, very low and very strong. It's very good.
yeah. I love it. So, oh, I'm getting feedback from your speaker. I think can hear myself. Um, cool. So, opponents initiating as they're
Yeah,
throwing an attacking shot. You are defending and throwing. So, and are you trying to get them to be as aligned time wise as possible, so that as it's defending, you're throwing the shot, or is it really just getting into that headspace of defend throw? I mean,
yeah,
ideally, trying to get that combination happening at the same time.
yes. The ideal would be that you are using the shot that you have initiated the instant you realise that you're under attack.
Yeah.
That initiation and the movement of shield, sword, person to defence mode against
Yeah.
the shot that you have. And the other thing that Catan was trying to avoid doing was he was avoiding faking me.
Yeah. Which is nice of him.
Yeah. So it's probably a better exercise where the person participating with you is
Is aware.
knowledgeable that try not to fake, try to actually initiate the kind of attack
Yeah.
that is likely to get the person, given what stance they have, that directed towards the kind of openings that stance
Yep.
and guard gives.
And
But
I like. Sorry, keep going.
it doesn't preclude it from just straight up sparring.
Mm.
You have to
Yeah.
recognize that as the person on the receiving end, if the person's faking you out and you go for the shot, but they faked you out, you're going to die there. But you've still made them think that as soon as you realize they're doing something, you're gonna respond.
Yeah.
And even Catan during that sort of set said he kind of opened up early on, where he was relatively open to things happening, but then he got into that point of going, yeah, he is actually picking places where I really have to do something when he does initiate, and you kind of see him tighten up how his position is as we get through that set of videos, because he kind of doesn't want to be hit himself.
It's fair.
Uh,
It's
and
great.
and that in effect is showing what it is that the thing teaches the person on the receiving end, that all of a sudden anything that is clearly initiated by the part of your opponent will result in them having to defend themselves, and so it changes the dynamic. What is frequently the case is that people catch me in the fact that I feel I'm in a relatively safe defensive mode,
Mm.
but I've just given them time to pick where the gap is, and if they're physically faster or more accurate than my ability, they'll just hit me.
Yep.
And Leofric and Katana, absolutely amazing examples of that,
No, they're
as
just
are you.
crisp and clean. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they don't miss an opportunity if you give it to them.
yeah, and that's I know that we've talked about that before, but it's one of the common things that people need to do as they come up through the ranks, as they get more comfortable with their fighting, is start to learn to reduce the distance between the decision and the action.
Mm.
You sort of get people who take a moment to think, but they think too long, and all they've really done is just frozen themselves in time, and you get the opportunity to take that from them.
Yeah.
I think this is a really cool drill or strategy or whatever you want to call it, and I like the fact that it's something that can be done at all levels. I could see this stacking really nicely on that concept of having two opponents, and it's that. I mean, I don't know if everybody does it, but I know that when we were both coming up through the ranks, you would have an opponent, and one of you would basically very slowly throw a shot and freeze there, so that
Mm.
the person you're throwing the shot at had the opportunity to kind of take a look around, see what was open because that shot had been thrown. So now that I've thrown that shot, where am I open? And then throw a shot to that space. So I think going through that process of going, okay, when they throw a snap, this is what's open. When they throw a leg wrap, this is what's open. When they pop an offside, this is what's open. And then stacking this particular drill on top of that to go, well, now I know those places are open. You're going to have a better opportunity to actually find those gaps in your opponent's defenses when they're throwing the shots, if you know that. So I can see that stacking really well with that drill as well.
Yeah. I haven't seen us do those style of drills for a long time.
No, we haven't. That's true. But we also don't have a lot of early start fighters at the moment either.
Mm.
So we haven't really been doing a lot of that base level work. I mean,
Yeah.
but that said, we should be. I know for myself, I'm going to be curious to go back through the videos that we took today and do a breakdown of my own fighting, because I know how rusty I feel at the moment and how out of form I
Mm.
feel, and just to see how much I'm flailing and how, how bad some of my footwork is, and it'll be interesting. So, but anyway, great
You,
drill.
you
Anything else?
have to be able to you have to be able to pick the moment that we dubbed the Zoidberg maneuver.
Oh, I have that clearly in my head. I reckon. I remember I'd pushed in on William, and my shield was above my head, and he was backing up, so I was just staying with him. It was like I was well and truly covered. It was great, and then I just threw an offside body. It was great. I love that. That was a great moment. I can't wait to see it on film. It'll be awesome.
The camera's at a good angle for that too. It should look pretty
Brilliant.
good. Yeah.
Excellent. I look forward to finding it. So, great. Anything else that you picked up from doing that drill today?
I, I feel it was very good. The things that I do, and I still realise that it's a reality of my fighting, is that sometimes my reactions are considerably slower than the people I face,
Yes.
and
You're in a
it's
very deep pool.
yeah,
I mean, look
and
at today. Duke, current king,
yeah,
knight, knight laurel. Oh, well, three of us are knight laurels, but knight.
yeah.
And he's been runner up in crown twice. Kitan has, I
Well,
think.
yeah. So
So,
Elaine's been runner up in Crown.
yeah,
Katan's been runner up in Crown twice.
yeah,
Because we had a casual passerby who was asking questions. So I used the term, that gentleman is the current Australian New Zealand champion.
yeah,
Your previous Australian New Zealand champion twice. This guy's come second in that championship twice. This guy's come second in that championship. I, blessed me, have come third in
yeah.
that championship. And gee, I hope I can do it again and better that. That would be good.
You will. You will.
And so you're in a world, and Mistress Alicia, in the company that she keeps with Catan and the people in Politicopolis, Canberra,
Yeah,
there's a very high standard there as
yeah,
well that she participates with, and it's very clear that she's going well. And our Baron, he is absolutely no slouch either.
yeah. It was a great little
So
field this morning.
well, and he and I, we kind of have a neck and neck thing going on, and it was his day today.
Yeah,
I'm going to make excuses, but they're excuses, and that was I'm in thinking mode about what I'd been told at the previous session, and as we have seen with any of us, I feel if you're engaging your brain to think about what you're doing more than actually doing it, you don't necessarily do so well.
yep,
But that didn't stop today's session being extremely enjoyable and having some just tremendous moments where I'm sort of going, I know I really enjoy being well defeated. If I see a person who has just done something astounding in terms of, sort of getting me to move there, positioning me like that, moving themselves here, and all of a sudden the entire back of my body is all theirs, and they're polite enough to hit it good, but not hit it hard. And I'm sort of going, yep, that is just magnificent. And I just, I walk away the loser feeling like a winner. And it is just fantastic. What a day. It was a magnificent day. The previous session that we'd had was great. Last sort of fight session before the weather socked in and the temperature got too hot at the end of last year. Our practice sessions are great.
Pretty
I hope we
blessed.
can travel again soon.
Yeah, same. Awesome. All right, great drill. Thanks for chatting about that. Let's
Yeah.
leave it there. Talk to you soon.
All right. Have a good one.
You too. Here we go. Cool.
So we not live no more?
No, no more live.
Okay.